Namaste, aloha, my name is Janapati Das. Please accept my respects, everyone. I'd like to offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual master, Jagat Guru, Siddhaswar Pananda Paramhamsa, and to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta. I also offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Jesus Christos in this season of His appearance. Today we have a special class because I remember at some point last year I accidentally deleted one of the videos from my the Krishna book series that I've done of videos over a few years, and somebody brought it to my attention. So today we are going to read from the Krishna book, a real quick part of the chapter 16, which is entitled Spiritual Instruction for Vasudeva and the Return of the Six Dead Sons of Devaki by Lord Krishna. So we'll read up to the point that got cut off. And as usual, we will start by hearing and chanting a little bit. So please join along. Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I was born in the darkness, ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto. Okay, so jumping back in time a little bit to the spiritual instructions for Vasudeva. We just had, the previous chapter was the sacrificial ceremonies performed by Vasudeva, and so there were a lot of people present there. It is a Vedic custom that the junior members of the family should offer respects to the elderly persons every morning. This is actually a Vedic principle, and I'm trying to connect this with the video that got deleted with the next video that's in my series. But in a family, and this is very contrary to what's going on today, people don't, I go to school, people don't, offer their respects to, kids don't offer their respects to me. I'm actually the one who goes out of the way to initiate conversation with them and contact them, because they don't really want to, you're just this old guy who's whatever, not really important in your life. But in the Vedic system, we are taught that the elderly personalities are to be respected and honored. And you should offer your respects, especially to the parents and the people that, even if you're not a devotee parents, you should offer respect to your parents, because your parents do so much for you, generally speaking. They do so much for you. They bring you into the world, they feed you, they take care of you, they shelter you, they give you clothes, they give you money, they give you love, they guide you in the right path, hopefully. So in the Vedic system, we added a little extra there to that. We teach you about Krishna. We teach children about Krishna and how they can love Krishna. This is the purpose of having children as a householder, is to raise living entities to go back to Krishna as a service to your spiritual master and to Krishna. So you should offer your respects to your parents, because I think most people eventually, they spend a lot of their teenage years kind of rolling their eyes at their parents, because their parents are constantly telling them what to do and what they're doing wrong. But then you get to a point, most people, they kind of realize that their parents are right about many things, because they see these things in their life that their parents have already been through. So the children of disciples should offer their respects to the parents or the spiritual master in the morning. In pursuance of this Vedic principle, Lord Krishna and Balaram used to offer their obeisances to their father Vasudeva along with his wives. One day, after having returned from the sacrificial performances of Kurukshetra, when Lord Krishna and Balaram went to offer their respects to Vasudeva, Vasudeva took the opportunity of appreciating the exalted position of his two sons. Vasudeva had the opportunity to understand the position of Krishna and Balaram from the great sages who had assembled in the arena of the sacrifice. So, as you know, with the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is where we're kind of at with this sort of situation. The battlefield, the Kurukshetra field, the field of Kurus, is actually a very auspicious place, because not only was the battle, like Lord Krishna was present with Arjuna, happened there. There were also many great sages who assembled there to begin a long sacrifice and discussion on Vedic principles for a long, long time, actually. He had not only heard from the sages, but on many occasions he actually experienced that Krishna and Balaram were not ordinary human beings. Yeah, we read all the stories, and they're kind of like, they would always be like, well, maybe they're demigods or something. How could they be doing all these wonderful feats? To just being little children, But were very extraordinary. Thus, he believed the words of the sages that his sons Krishna and Balaram were the supreme personality of Godhead. With firm faith in his sons, he addressed them thus: "My dear Krishna, you are Satchidananda Vigraha." Vigraha is our spiritual form, right? Satchidananda is eternal bliss and full of knowledge. This spiritual form is eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. And the living entity in its spiritual form is also Satchidananda Vigraha, but the body that we obtain in our mind is not such, is not eternal, definitely not eternal, not blissful at all, really. I mean, you get little squeezes of pleasure here and there, but not really blissful, and it's not really full of knowledge. We're actually quite stupid, and we're ignorant of our own spiritual form. That alone is stupidity. You're a Satchidananda Vigraha, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and my dear Balaram, you are Shankar Shan, the master of all mystic powers. I have now understood that you are eternal. Both of you are transcendental to this material manifestation and to its cause, the Supreme Person Mahavishnu. You are the original controller of all. You are the rest of this cosmic manifestation. You are its creator, and you are also its creative ingredients. You are the master of the cosmic manifestations, and actually this manifestation is for your pastimes only. So here Vasudeva is clearly expressing what is told about understanding the difference between matter and spirit, and who the controller is, both studying both those things simultaneously, like in the Sri Upanishad was instructed, but also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading in chapter 7 of this very fact of the different elements and energies of Krishna, and that Krishna, of course, is the source of all those things. The different material phases from the beginning, and this actually constitutes the absolute truth. This understands true knowledge. The different material phases from the beginning to the end of the cosmos manifest under different time formulas are also yourself, because you are both the cause and effect of this manifestation. In fact, you are the cause and you are the effect of this situation. And many times atheists will use this idea of cause and effect and say, well, if God is the cause of everything in the material world, what is the cause of God? And the answer is nothing. Nothing is the cause of God, because Krishna is the source of all things. He is the cause of all causes. The two features of this material world, the predominator and the predominated, are also you. And you are the supreme transcendental controller who stands above them. Therefore, you are beyond the perception of our senses. You are the supreme soul, unborn and unchanging. You are not affected by the 6 kinds of transformation which occur in the material body. The wonderful varieties of this material world are also created by you, and you have entered as the supersoul into each living entity and even into the atom. You are the maintainer of everything. So here Vasudeva is laying out exactly what is to be known. The vital force which is acting as the life principle in everything and the creative force derived from it are not acting independently, but are dependent upon you, the supreme person behind these forces. Without your will, they cannot work. Material energy has no cognizance. So the material energy has no cognizance. The material energy, as we learn in chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These things have actually the matter itself has no actual life. It is sustained by the presence of the living entity, as laid out in the 2nd chapter. Those are all the inferior energies, but besides these, O Arjuna, there is a superior energy, and these are the living entities which are struggling with the material nature and sustaining the universe, right? And so we've already learned that matter itself, although it appears lifelike, is only lifelike because of the presence of the living entity. Similarly, the cosmic manifestation is only full of life because of the presence of Mahavishnu in his expansions of Kashira Dakshai, Karana Dakshai, Garbha Dakshai, and Kashira Dakshai, right? And the different expansions starting from the universe, outside the universe, in the atoms, and within the heart of all the living beings. Okay, I've lost my place here. Where is he? The vital force which is acting as the life principle in everything, and the creative force derived from it are not acting independently. We think we're independent, but we're not actually acting independently. We're marginal. We're either under the influence of Krishna's energy, of spiritual energy, or we're under the influence of Maya Devi, material energy, which is both of Krishna's energies. But are dependent upon you, the supreme person behind these forces. Even in the material world, we're dependent on Krishna to supply us with the things that we want to try to manipulate. Without your will, they cannot work. Material energy has no cognizance. It cannot act independently without being agitated by you. Because the material nature is dependent upon you, the living entities can only attempt to attempt to act. But without your sanction and will, they cannot perform anything or achieve the result they desire. So it starts with a desire, and it starts with the will of the living entity wanting something. But the acting actually is all done by Krishna and Krishna's energies. So we are just really helpless and just perceiving this. The original energy is only an emanation from you. My dear Lord, the shining of the moon, the heat of the fire, the rays of the sun, the glittering of the stars, and the electric lightning, which is manifested as very powerful, as well as the gravity of the mountains, the energy of the earth, and the quality of its flavor, are all different manifestations of you. Yeah, this is really, really wonderful. This is so connected to what we're reading in chapter 7 right now, because Krishna says that the fragrance of the earth is him. It is him. All are different manifestations of you. So he goes through this. I am the taste of water. I am the ability in man. I am the strength of the strong. I am the fragrance of the earth. I am the light of the sun. I'm the heat and fire. All these things, which is so beautifully laid out and poetically in chapter 7, remind us of Krishna. The pure taste of water and the vital force which maintains all life are all features of your lordship. The water and its taste are also yourself. So beautiful. That's why we drink a glass of water. We say Krishna is the taste of water. It's so wonderful that you can actually remember Krishna through so many things around you in nature. We don't despise nature. I mean, sometimes there are, religious thinkers who think that all nature is actually evil and the property of the devil, I guess you could say. So you shun everything. You try to shun. Even Buddhists are like, don't become attached to. But we can actually. It's just a matter of consciousness. How do we remember Krishna? How do we use the nature that we are in this material world back in the service of Krishna? Krishna allows us to do that, and we can look and we can think of things out in nature, and we can think of, there's a tree, be tolerant like a tree. I can remember to be tolerant like a tree, or seeing grass and remembering to be lower than the straw on the street or in the grass in the field. So wonderful. Because Lord Chaitanya used to do that all the time also, actually. He would see a river or a puddle of water and think he was a Jamuna or something and remember him, Krishna, so he'd go jump in the water, and he was constantly thinking, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? He would be in the mood of the gopis and be calling out to the animals, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where's my Lord? Just like the gopis did when Krishna disappeared from the sight. My dear Lord, although the forces of the senses, the mental power of thinking, willing, and feeling, and the strength and movement and growth of the body appear to be performed by different movements of the airs within the body, They are all ultimately manifestations of your energy. The vast expanse of outer space rests on yourself like pearls in a thread, as it said in Bhagavad Gita. The vibration of the sky, its thunder, the supreme sound Omkara, which is also in that chapter, Omkara being the sound representation of Krishna, and the arrangement of different words to distinguish one thing from the other are symbolic representations of yourself. Very beautiful. Language itself is Krishna. I mean, it's such an amazing thing to make all these sounds and be able to identify what those sounds and have a conversation, or even be able to translate, to be able to read this Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, making sounds out of my mouth that other people can understand and say those same sounds back to me, and I'll understand what they're talking about. Beautiful. Krishna. Everything is yourself. The senses, the controller of the senses, the demigods, the acquisition of knowledge, which is the purpose of the senses, as well as the subject matter of knowledge, all are yourself. So even the ability to accumulate knowledge, we can, thank you, Krishna, we can use this in your service. The resolution of intelligence and the sharp memory of the living entity are also yourself. You are the egotistic principle in ignorance, which is the cause of this material world. The egotistic principle of passion, which is the cause of the senses. The egotistic principle of goodness, which is the origin or the different controlling deities of this material world. The illusory energy, or Maya, which is the cause of the conditioned souls perpetually transmigrating from one form to another, is yourself. My dear Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are the original cause of all causes, exactly as the earth is the original cause of different kinds of trees, plants, and similar varieties of manifestations. As the earth is represented in everything, so you are present throughout this material manifestation as Supersoul. You are the supreme cause of all causes, the eternal principle. Everything is, in fact, a manifestation of your one energy. The three qualities of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, and the result of their interaction are linked up with you by your agency of Yoga Maya. They are supposed to be independent, but actually the total material energy is resting upon you, the Supersoul. Since you are the supreme cause of everything, the interaction of material manifestation, birth, existence, growth, transformation, deterioration, and annihilation are all absent in yourself. So those 6 that we're talking about, the 6 kinds of transformation: birth, existence, growth, transformation, deterioration, and annihilation. Your supreme energy, Yoga Maya, is acting in variegated manifestations, but because Yoga Maya is your energy, you are therefore present in everything. In the Bhagavad Gita, the fact is very nicely explained in the 9th chapter, wherein the Lord says, in my impersonal form, I am spread all over the material energy. Everything is resting in me, but I am not there. And it also says in the Sri Ishopanishad, he walks, but he does not walk. He is near, but he is far. This very statement is also given by Vasudeva. To say he is not present everywhere means that he is aloof from everything, although his energy is acting everywhere. This can be understood by a crude example. In a big establishment, the energy or the organization of the supreme boss is working in every nook and corner of the business. But that does not mean that the original proprietor is present there. Although in every department and every atmosphere, the presence of the proprietor is felt by the worker. The physical presence of the proprietor is in every department is formality only. Actually, his energy is working everywhere. Similarly, the omnipresent presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the actions of his energies. Therefore, the philosophy of inconceivable simultaneous oneness with and difference from the Supreme Lord is confirmed everywhere. The Lord is one, but his energies are diverse. Vasudeva said, this material world is like a great flowing river, and its waves are the 3 modes of nature. 3 material modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. This material body, as well as the senses, the facility of thinking, feeling, and willing, and the stages of distress, happiness, attachment, and lust, all are different products of these three qualities of nature. Yes, the three gunas are it's very fascinating, actually, and the Bhagavad Gita goes into some depth in there, but it touches on through the Srimad Bhagavatam and goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we stated that basically everything in this material world is influenced by that, and you can experience that, whether it's food, music, existence with your body, feeling your body, the mind, everything, everything. There's goodness, passion, and ignorance, and sometimes they'll kind of mix or change, or depending on what you're doing there. This material body, as well as the senses, the facilities of thinking, feeling, and willing, and the stages of distress, happiness, and attachment, and lust, are all different products of these three qualities of nature. The foolish person who cannot realize your transcendental identity above all this material reaction continues to remain in the entanglement of fruitive activity and is subjected to the continuous process of birth and death without a chance of being freed. This is also confirmed in a different way by the Lord in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There it is said that anyone who knows the appearance and activities of the Supreme Lord Krishna becomes freed from the clutches of material nature and goes back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishna's transcendental name, form, activities, and qualities are not products of this material nature. So transcendental, Krishna is transcendental. He is the source of all material energies. He is the source of all of his spiritual energies. But he is simultaneously one with it, but separate from it. And then we continues on from where we left off. My dear Lord Vasudeva continued despite all these defects of the conditioned soul. And so that'll be in the next video, or I'll see if I can try to line up the video on my YouTube channel here. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Namaste.